China today. Sumi, today marks 40 years since the country's economy opened up to the rest of the world, a move that ultimately turned China into a global economic powerhouse.
In today's video, I'm about to show you that China is back. Now, China has seen rapid development over the past few decades.
What if everything you thought you knew about China was wrong? That its economy is crumbling, that it only steals ideas, or that it's just a distant threat with no real power? In this video, we're exposing 17 of the most dangerous and misunderstood lies about China's rise, and revealing the shocking truths behind them. Because once you see what's really happening, you can't unsee it. In just 3 decades, China has transformed itself from a struggling rural nation into one of the most influential players on Earth. It built massive cities, launched rockets, and created the largest middle class in human history. But while the headlines may sound familiar, much of what we believe is either outdated, biased, or just plain wrong. Let's challenge the narrative and dig into the facts. At number 1, they say China's economy is on the verge of collapse, but they've been saying that for more than 2 decades. Each year, new headlines warn of financial meltdown, real estate bubbles, or shrinking exports. Yet somehow, China remains the second largest economy on the planet, driving global growth and innovation. It has lifted over 850 million people out of poverty, the greatest economic transformation in human history. That's not collapse. That's evolution on a historic scale. Here's fact number 2. For years, we've been told that China only copies, that it imitates but never innovates. But that narrative is outdated. Today, China files more patents than the United States, Europe, and Japan combined. It's making major breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and battery technology that are shaping the future of entire industries. From smartphones to satellites, China is no longer following behind. It's setting the pace. The copycat label doesn't fit anymore. Coming in at number 3. You've probably heard that China is isolated, cut off from the rest of the world by politics, censorship, or trade wars. But that couldn't be further from the truth. China is the top trading partner for more than 120 countries, with deep economic ties across Asia, Africa, Latin America, and parts of Europe. From consumer goods to critical infrastructure, its presence is global. Far from being cut off, China is more economically integrated than ever before. Did you know, at number 4, many dismiss the Belt and Road Initiative as pure propaganda, just political theater. But this trillion-dollar infrastructure strategy spans over 150 countries. It includes real ports, railways, energy grids, and highways that are physically reshaping the global economy. It's not a press release. It's a long game of global influence. Fact number 5 might surprise you. Critics often say China exploits poorer nations by stealing resources and giving nothing in return. But in countries like Kenya, Ethiopia, and Pakistan, China has helped build highways, airports, and hospitals, often faster and cheaper than Western contractors. Yes, debt is a concern, but the reality is far more nuanced than simple exploitation. Next, at number 6, the idea that China is just a source of cheap labor is stuck in the past. Today, wages have risen dramatically, and the country is shifting toward high-value sectors like artificial intelligence, biotech, and green energy. 70% of its growth now comes from services and technology. It's not just the world's factory anymore. It's becoming the world's innovation hub. At number 7, you've probably heard that China manipulates its currency to gain unfair advantages in global trade. But the Chinese yuan has actually appreciated in recent years, not devalued. And while the government does manage its exchange rate, so do many other countries. The currency manipulator label is often more political talking point than economic reality. Fact number 8 challenges another assumption. There's a common belief that all of China's technology is stolen. But that's outdated. Yes, intellectual property theft was once widespread, but today, China is one of the top spenders on research and development globally, investing more than the entire European Union. Its companies are now setting the pace in 5G, battery tech, and advanced manufacturing. Coming in at number 9, China's space program is often dismissed in the West. Some even call it a joke. But in the last 5 years, it's launched its own space station, landed a rover on Mars, and sent another to the far side of the moon. A global first. This isn't science fiction. It's a sign that China is aiming far beyond Earth's atmosphere. Here's number 10. There's a myth that China doesn't care about climate change, but it's leading the clean energy transition. It installs more solar panels and wind turbines than any other nation, and over half of the world's electric vehicles drive on Chinese roads. Yes, it still emits the most carbon dioxide, but it's also investing the most in fixing it. At number 11, people say China has no real allies, but that depends on how you define ally. Through groups like BRICS, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and dozens of bilateral trade deals, China has built strategic partnerships across the global south. It may not have a formal military bloc like NATO, but its influence is global and growing. Let's talk about number 12. It's often claimed that China rules through fear and force. But while its military is expanding, China hasn't fought a war in over 40 years. Its real power comes from economics, infrastructure deals, trade partnerships, and strategic lending. It doesn't send troops, it sends contracts, and sometimes that's even more powerful. Now, at number 13, some argue that China's rise is already slowing down and that time is on the West's side. Yes, growth has cooled from double digits, but in absolute terms, China still adds more to the global economy each year than most countries combined. It's not shrinking, it's simply stabilizing at the scale of a global superpower. Here's number 14. The fear that China wants war with everyone is one of the most persistent and misleading narratives. Despite tensions with Taiwan and the South China Sea, China hasn't engaged in a full-scale conflict since 1979. Its focus has always been strategic deterrence and economic expansion, not military aggression. Coming in at number 15. Some say you don't need to care about China's power, that it doesn't affect your life. But the truth is, it already does. From your smartphone's components to the battery in your electric car, from global shipping prices to tech platforms, China is everywhere. Like it or not, ignoring its impact is no longer an option. Lie number 16. China's middle class is still tiny. It's easy to assume that China is still a country of factory workers and rural poverty, but that's no longer true. China now has the largest middle class in the world, with over 400 million people living middle-income lifestyles, owning cars, traveling, and consuming at scale. It's no longer just a producer for the world. It's a consumer powerhouse, reshaping global markets from the inside out. And at number 17, China's education system holds it back. Critics argue China's schools crush creativity and produce rote learners, but the results tell another story. China dominates global math and science rankings, and its universities now rival top institutions worldwide. It's also producing more STEM graduates each year than the US, India, and Russia combined. The system isn't perfect, but it's building the technical minds powering China's rise in tech, science, and innovation. So now you've seen the other side of the story, a version of China's rise that's rarely shown in headlines. It's not about defending or praising, but about understanding the power shifts reshaping our world. Because here's the real question. If everything we thought about China was wrong, what else are we getting wrong? If that made you think, like, subscribe, and share this video. And get ready for the next deep dive. What if China already won, and we just haven't realized it yet?